You know the setup, right? A family moves into a huge new house, thinking it's the perfect place to raise their kids, Tommen and Nimmi. But some houses, well, some houses hold secrets, and this one has been waiting.
And here it is. The one question that just gets right under your skin. I mean, for a parent, an imaginary friend is totally normal. It's a sign of a creative kid. But what happens when that friend starts to feel a little too real? What happens when they start to know things they have no business knowing?
So, for young Nimmi, this big new house isn't lonely in the slightest. Almost immediately, she finds a companion, a brand new friend she calls Shabbu. And she's all in, you know? She talks to Shabbu, plays with Shabbu, she even saves a seat for her at the breakfast table. To her parents, it's cute. It's just a phase.
And right here, you can see these two completely different realities starting to form under the very same roof. For Nimmi, there's zero doubt. She finds a doll and says, "Shabbu gave me this." For her, it's a fact. But for her parents, it's just, oh, it's her imagination. She probably just needs a little extra attention in this big new house. So the first real crack in the parents' whole "it's just imagination" theory comes when Nimmi's aunt Pooja shows up for a surprise visit. She's creeping upstairs, trying to playfully scare Nimmi. But just before she can, Nimmi just turns around. Pooja's confused. She asks, "How did you know I was here?" And Nimmi's answer is so simple, but so chilling. "Shabbu told me." Yeah, an imaginary friend shouldn't be able to do that. And this is the first real sign that Shabbu is something more.
And this is the point where that little bit of unease starts to curdle into actual, genuine fear. Those strange little comments from Nimmi, they soon give way to things that the entire family can no longer ignore. The house itself, it seems to be coming alive at night.
The whole thing escalates pretty fast. Night 1, you get a sharp knock at the door. They go check, nobody there. Okay, a prank maybe. Night 2, the sound changes. It's this deep, guttural, inhuman growl echoing through the halls. And by night 3, the physical world itself starts to break, as a heavy bookshelf just slides across a hallway all by itself. We are way past imagination now. This is a pattern.
After another one of these bizarre incidents, Nimmi's mother finally snaps. She's had enough. She forbids Nimmi from ever saying the name Shabbu again. But Nimmi just looks right at her, dead serious, and delivers this quiet little warning. Don't say that. Shabbu will get angry. So this thing isn't just a quiet observer. It has feelings, and it definitely has a temper.
As the parents are desperately trying to rationalize everything, their maid overhears them. And she quietly shares this story from her home village. It's about another child, one who also made a friend that nobody else could see. And when terrible things started happening, the people came to an absolutely horrifying conclusion. They believed the only way to stop the evil was to destroy its link to their world. So, they burned the child. The family just dismisses it as superstitious nonsense. But for us, it just hangs there in the air. A very, very dark piece of foreshadowing.
Okay, so since they can't accept a supernatural explanation, the family starts searching for a human one. Their fear and suspicion turn inward, and they start to focus on the one person who seems to be at the center of it all, their quiet servant, Lakshman.
And you can see why their suspicion fell on him, right? The logic seems sound. Who was present for every single incident? Lakshman. Who was the first one to mention ghosts and suggest prayers? Lakshman. The father even accuses him directly after hearing that growling sound one night. And maybe the most damning piece of evidence? Nimmi herself says that Shabbu doesn't like Lakshman. It all points to one person.
The father puts all the pieces together. He believes Lakshman is orchestrating the whole thing, making the noises, moving the furniture, all to scare them into believing his ghost stories so he can perform some prayer ritual. He's completely certain. It's a rational explanation for irrational events, and the family clings to it. But just as the family feels like they finally have a handle on the situation, that they've found the human culprit, their entire theory is about to be violently torn apart. The game is over, and the real horror is just beginning.
One morning, they wake up, and Lakshman is gone, vanished without a word. The father assumes he fled, scared of being caught. For a whole day, the house is quiet, and they actually feel a sense of relief. But then they realize, Nimmi is gone too.
Total panic sets in. They call the police, who are, of course, confused and skeptical as the family tries to explain about imaginary friends and missing servants. Then the landline rings. The father answers, and it's Nimmi's voice, whispering, "Daddy." He asks where she is, desperate, and she replies, "I'm in my room, upstairs." But that's impossible.
They've searched her room, the whole house, multiple times. The call is coming from inside a house where she isn't.
Ignoring everyone's pleas, the father knows he has to go. Logic has failed. The only thing left is his daughter's voice on the phone. So he heads upstairs, alone, walking into the very room they just searched, with no idea what he's about to find.
He finds Nimmi standing in the middle of her room, perfectly still. He calls her name, relieved, but when she speaks, her voice is different. It's cold, accusatory. "You hid my dolly, didn't you?" That is not the voice of his scared little girl. It's the voice of something else, something ancient and angry.
The accusations just escalate, becoming more personal, more venomous. The entity speaking through his daughter twists his own fears against him. "You wanted to kill me, didn't you?" It's a psychological attack, designed to break him down before the real horror begins.
And just like that, the trap is sprung. Downstairs, the family tries to flee, but the front door slams shut and locks itself. The back door does the same. Their cell phones have no signal. The landline is dead. The house is now a prison, and they are trapped inside with whatever is wearing their daughter's face.
The possessed Nimmi turns to the rest of the family, and then it delivers the final, soul-crushing twist. It says that Lakshman, the man they all suspected, knew the answer all along. But it perverts his words, twisting his pleas for a cleansing prayer into a monstrous demand. It claims Lakshman told them the solution was simple. They have to burn her. They have to burn the child.
And suddenly, the maid's forgotten story comes rushing back. Her warning about what the villagers did to stop the evil. It wasn't just a story. It was a blueprint. The entity wasn't trying to hurt Nimmi. It was trying to possess her fully. And it wanted the family to perform the very ritual that would sever her from this world and bind her to it forever. Their choice is to let it kill them or commit an unthinkable act.
And that's where the story leaves us, trapped in that locked house with an impossible decision. Your child is no longer your child, and the entity speaking through her is demanding an unthinkable sacrifice. So what would you do?